But can the receivers get far enough down the field?
Rodgers in trouble.
It's going to get there.
He turned 32 yesterday. Does he have a vintage moment in him? In the end zone, it is caught for the win. Richard Rodgers with a walk.
It's good. Was that pretty good?
Cuzzo, you nailed it.
Okay, all right.
Aaron Rodgers touchdown.
Yeah, so we did.
I can't wait.
We've had a monster week of podcasts. Dave the Wave joining me as always with the Coach of the Year shirt on. We're live in Los Angeles right now. We were just in Madison Square Garden last night. Here we're in front of millions in Los Angeles now. Guys, fantastic week. I mean, we broke down where all stars are going to go in the next 3 years, where they'll be. So we'll look back at that list and say, wow, Max and Dave predicted it. We broke down the AFC. We've talked about Sam Darnold, spoke to Jim Allers, went to the jungle with Seth Petrozelli. This is probably one of the best weeks of the Locked In podcast.
Concur. It's been awesome.
I like that word.
You've been locked in. I've been locked in. It's a great time of the year. It's that football feeling. We're MMA hungry. It's been awesome. It's been great. We've been having some great conversations with some great people, and it's just the movement, man. We're rolling.
Yeah, we are rolling. We're also rolling into a couple other dates coming up, guys, so make sure you check us out. September 8th. What is that, Dave? Undisputed.
Ooh.
We'll be in the building there at Gilt in Orlando, Florida.
Commentating. It's King of the Ring. One fight I want to talk about just real quick, Cuzzo. Sean Mason versus Haitham Sabet. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait for that fight.
Were we supposed to release that information?
Oh yeah, it's broke.
Okay, just making sure.
Good. Sean Mason's been blasting it. We got to get him on the podcast. Sean is a next level fighter in my eyes.
Yeah, and this is one of those moments where we knew it first kind of thing. Our sources told us about it. We spoke to Anthony. We were so excited. It was so hard to keep our mouths shut about it. But yeah, the fight, like you just said, is released. Everybody knows about it. It's probably one of the fight I'm looking forward to the most. The main event, of course, is amazing. But Sean Mason's our guy. Tyson Sabet is amazing with power. It's going to be a phenomenal fight. Also, we have September 29th will be Island Fights Locked In. Is that a call?
Whoa.
Putting them on hold. We have dates that are important here.
Island Fights 50, the biggest card in Florida all year. That's not UFC. And also, Cuzzo, the night before, September 28th, will be live weigh-ins. We will be recording that on Facebook live weigh-ins, Island Fights 50. We can't wait. We're going to bring monstrous amount of interviews, pictures, videos. It's locked in. Island Fights 50 is officially locked in.
Yes, and we're the type of people where, listen, you love sports, you don't love sports, you just like to laugh, talk movies, we are more than willing to talk to you. We love talking. That's what we do for a living. So come up to us, say hello, buy a shirt, give us your opinions, what you like about the podcast, what you don't like about the podcast. Finally, we have October 20th, Clash of the Titans. Mitchell Chamali and Combat Night, Anthony Undisputed are combining again, clashing again for another terrific night of combat sports.
What dominates that night, MMA or boxing?
Can I say just both? I just think I want to look both ways. I wish my eyes can look. One eye can look in this direction, the other eye can look in that direction.
It's like that character from The Waterboy. I think Steve Buscemi played him. He had like one eye going one way.
If I could have it for one night, that's the night I would do it.
Oh man!
Other than that,
awesome.
I don't like to mess with my vision.
Yep.
I already have bad vision. I have hard contacts.
Oh, I'm 20/20.
I tell people that all the time, like, hard contacts. I never heard about that. And like, that made me feel better. I have something you never even heard about. So,
that's your superpower.
That's my superpower. It's actually made out of glass of a plane window. I don't know if you ever knew it. Hard contact. It's in my eye right now. If I took it out, it would crunch if I broke it.
Wow. Okay.
So the fact that I can shoot as good as I do, just another notch under my belt.
Okay, guys, back to the podcast at hand. We are talking NFC Breakdown. August 28th, we will be on Facebook Live. We'll have an hour-long, all in-depth NFL episode. But that episode's more about discussions. Whatever comes up, comes up. It's more, let's break down teams and hypothesis. This, we are literally just breaking down NFC record, playoffs, and just kind of getting straight to it.
Yeah,
you feel
AFC
me?
was awesome. Let's do the same thing, NFC,
okay.
North, South, East, West kind of thing. Want to start up NFC North.
Okay.
You have the Packers, the Vikings, the Lions, the Bears.
We just heard Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, so that's funny. We're starting there. I like it.
Okay, well, on that note, Green Bay Packers, I have winning the division.
Okay. Okay.
Aaron Rodgers is coming back. Talk about injuries. A lot of quarterbacks got injured last year.
Yeah. It happens. It's football.
Yeah. I've said he's the most talented quarterback in the league. Tom Brady may be the greatest, definitely the most accomplished, but as far as just pure talent and just electric play, dynamic play, Aaron Rodgers is the guy in the league.
Cuzzo, Aaron Rodgers is not the most talented quarterback in the league right now. He's
All
the
time.
most talented quarterback ever. All time. History of National Football League. Aaron Rodgers is the greatest talent. So you know what he needs? He needs wins. He needs playoff wins. He needs a Super Bowl championship. So I'm going to lock this in right now. Green Bay will upset Minnesota. They will win this division this year. Minnesota, which was, the darling team, the NFC, they had Case Keenum run that roster last year. A lot of injuries at the quarterback spot with Bradford and Bridgewater. They signed Kirk Cousins to the biggest offseason NFL free agent move this whole year. So a lot of people are high on him. I think I'm not high on him, but I'm not down. They have a great defense. They have a great playmakers. Their wide receiver, their 1-2 is awesome. Stephon Diggs got a great deal this offseason as well. So I think Minnesota does make the playoffs as well. They're second in this division. They're a really, really good team, Cousin. What do you think?
You just said a new quarterback, right?
Yep.
New coordinator. Like we had this talk on the last podcast about the AFC. Whenever you have something new, it's adjustment. I'm not saying they're going to be bad. I think they're obviously a good team. But whenever you have a new system, new players, whatever the case may be, there's an adjustment period. There's just some getting used to. There's chemistry. So I feel the same way you do. But, yeah, I have Green Bay number 1. I have the Vikings right behind them at number 2. And then our guy, Chris, Detroit Lions number 3.
Yeah, I got them number 3. I have them 1 game above Chicago. I like Chicago. I think they're going to win 6, 7 games. And I got Detroit in that 7 or 8 games. They're not bad teams, either one of them. They just don't have an Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, or they don't have the great elite defense as the Vikings. So they're 3rd and 4th for me.
Whenever coordinators leave Bill Belichick, they typically don't succeed as well they do in New England. So do you think Matt Patricia will have a good year of coaching in Detroit?
No.
No?
No, I'm actually down on him. You mentioned his name in the AFC breakdown, and I knew we were going to talk about him in the Lions. I don't think he's a head coach. He's a number 2.
That's a strong take.
And thank you. There's Robins and there's Batmans. He's a Robin. But Matt Stafford is a really solid, good quarterback. He's a really good veteran. They have some weapons. I like Golden Tate. Golden Tate's a underrated wide receiver over there for Detroit. So they got a solid team. They're going to win 6, 7, 8 games in that range, but they're not a playoff team. Nope.
Okay, we also have the Chicago Bears. How do you feel about Mitch Trubisky? Obviously, he was picked over Deshaun Watson, which was a mistake.
Yes.
But do you feel this year will validate him as a legitimate starter? Is this the year where you're like, what were they thinking? What do you think he does this year?
A little bit in between. He's never going to be a top 10 quarterback. Like Deshaun, if he's healthy and plays well, just plays, he's a top 10 quarterback. Mitchell, I don't think he's going to be out of the league, but I can kind of see him in that borderline. His ceiling is Andy Dalton, Alex Smith. That's his ceiling if everything works out.
And it's just it's a bummer that he's in the same draft class as Deshaun Watson.
Yeah,
because it's a good quarterback, but you passed up on Deshaun Watson.
And the worst part about this, Cuzzo, they were the 3rd pick of the draft. They moved up to the 2nd pick and traded hell of a lot. Like, they traded mega picks to move up just one spot. You're like, oh, my gosh, whoever they pick, they must love. They must think it's a total changer of their, their team for a decade. And they picked Mitchell Trubisky over Deshaun Watson. Doesn't make sense, Cuzzo.
On that note, shifting gears to the NFC South, the Falcons, Saints, Panthers, Buccaneers. You made an interesting point. You could say this is the most stacked division with quarterbacks.
I would not even quarterbacks, teams. This is the best division in football. It's just no question. I already predicted it's out there in the waves. The Saints are in the Super Bowl
against the Chargers.
Yes. So of course, if I have them winning the Super Bowl, I do have them winning this division. I have them having an awesome year. But it's going to be so tough because I like Atlanta and I like Carolina. I think Carolina's going to have a great record this year. Tampa's that one team that they have plenty of talent. They got a lot of really good players. Mike Evans, Gerald McCoy. But Jameis Winston, again, knucklehead of the year, suspended for the first 4 games of the season. Ah, man, that's kind of the bummer team, but they can even surprise people. They could go 8-8. They could.
The first 5 out of their 7 games is home for the Falcons. So I think they start off the season
Good
a
point.
good start on the right note. So I think the Falcons win this division. I think Drew Brees is the best quarterback in the division, obviously.
Yes.
I mean, arguably one of the best of all time. He
Yes.
broke every record almost. But I think the Falcons win it. I think the Saints are right behind them.
You have the Falcons winning the division?
I do.
Okay.
Just because you have such a deep roster, obviously, and you have Julio Jones. You have a dynamic offense, a proven MVP quarterback.
Yes.
I think the Falcons win it. I'm not going to be shocked if the Saints win it, but for argument's sake, I'm going with the Falcons. I have the Saints, and then, I have the Panthers above the Buccaneers because the Buccaneers don't have a quarterback.
Yes.
You can't put that above the Panthers.
Agreed.
Cam can be inconsistent, but you also have good Cam. You don't have anything with the Buccaneers if there's no quarterback.
Okay, and do you have Carolina, do you have them close to a playoff spot? Do you even have them in the playoffs, or do you just have them barely above Tampa? Where are you adding at with Carolina?
Close to a playoff spot.
Like 8 wins, 9 wins in that range?
Yeah, like an 8-8 or
Yeah.
8. They're close because, like I said, sometimes you don't know what you're getting with Cam, but he can press the crap out of you sometimes, and other times you scratch your head, what are you doing? So
Sure.
I do have them close just because I think the roster is stable. It's a good roster. You have Cam Newton. I think they go 8-8, Buccaneers last place.
Okay, and real quick, back to Atlanta. I love the Falcons as well. I have them in the playoffs. They're a wild card team for me. Julio Jones. So he's not happy with his contract. He signed it 2 years ago, and he outplayed it. He is the third best wide receiver in the world, right? He's right in that talk.
Yeah,
Antonio Brown is number 1.
Julio,
He's number
Odell.
1. Yeah, they're the top 3. Do you think if he deserves more money, should he get it? Should he hold out and say, hey, guys, I outplayed my contract. I want more money? Or you kind of signed a bad deal just 2 years ago. You have 3 years left in your contract. Should you just kind of, hey, put your nose down, keep grinding, keep being a top 3 wide receiver in the world, and then at the last year, 2 years from now, say, hey, guys, I want more money now? What do you think on that?
It's all about priorities and what's important to each individual in this aspect. As a coach, you don't want to be handicapped. Like you've talked about this with the quarterback position, even the most important position on the field, you don't even want to be handicapped. So you don't want to give a receiver too much money and you're handicapped to getting better people on the roster.
Sure.
But at the same time, if I'm Julio and I'm playing in a league where your career can end tomorrow, you want as much money as possible for your family and generations to come. So I understand both sides of the argument. But for Julio's sake, what's most important to you? Is it going back and winning a Super Bowl, or is it the money? Because if you want to win a Super Bowl, I think you kind of just bite your mouthpiece down, finish this contract the next 3 years, see what goes from there. But if he just wants money and stability for his family, which I'm not in any way discrediting or looking down upon, then obviously you go that way. But as a franchise, is he worth the max money? Yeah, but so is Tom Brady. Tom Brady's worth it, but he hasn't asked for it because he knows, like you've said, there's just something to, like Tim Duncan, there's just something to knowing your surrounding. And if I take less, I have Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker staying. You know what I mean? So I just think Tom Brady, even though he doesn't have the best roster this year, which is kind of weird, but I think Julio Jones should bite down his mouthpiece and just play to win a Super Bowl.
Okay. Hey, I agree with you. They're so close. Atlanta's a really, really great team. You can argue they should have won the Super Bowl just 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It's not that long ago. It was just 2 years ago. New England lost to Philly last year, so they're vulnerable. Atlanta can win the whole dang thing this year.
Yeah. Okay, you ready for NFC East?
I am.
The Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, Redskins. To me, obviously, this division matters the most to me with my Giants in it.
Yes, sir.
I'll start off here. I do have the Eagles winning this division again.
Okay.
Obviously, Super Bowl champs. They have a great roster. If Wentz comes back, we think it's like him and Deshaun Watson are the quarterbacks of the future. And Wentz could have won MVP last year if he didn't get injured.
Agree.
So
he was on pace to win the award.
So you have an outstanding quarterback, another one coming off an injury.
We should just have a podcast called Injured Quarterback.
It's weird.
It's all we talk about.
But the oldest guy, Tom Brady, doesn't get injured. Anyway, so we have Carson Wentz, and then you, of course, have a great backup in Nick Foles, the definition of a backup quarterback. With the great roster, the Super Bowl. I don't think they're going to have an undefeated type of season because, there's always a little bit of a Super Bowl hangover.
Sure.
But I definitely think they win the division. Here, let me get your feedback on the Eagles before we go to 2 and 3.
Sure. Well, Philadelphia will beat 2 or 3. I do.
Oh, okay.
I do not have them winning the division this year.
Surprise of the podcast.
There you go.
So why is that?
You said it. For one, Super Bowl hangover. They've just been talked about how great they are for 5 straight months.
That's true.
Number 2, Carson Wentz is coming off an injury, and this is just my take, I don't think he starts this year. He is the future. So there's no reason to rush him. You have 14 years after this, and even if he plays just half of this season and then they get second or third place, barely sneaking the playoffs, but if he's healthy, you can win the whole dang thing. So don't force the future. Don't re-injure your best player on the team for the next decade. Step 3 is, I'm in love with the Giants and the Cowboys. And I can't even tell you, hey, Max, I can't go. I'm locked in. This team will win the division. But one of them will. I have Dallas and New York. New York greatly improving the record this year. Saquon Barkley. Did I nail that?
1 for 1.
Thank you.
Let's keep that up.
And Dallas is, to me, just that solid team. They have a good O-line. They have a good D-line, good pass rush. Dak is a above-average quarterback. They have the best or second-best running back in the world. Hey, Dallas could go 11-5 and win this division.
I have Dallas second.
Okay.
And it's not an insult. I mean, I got him behind the Super Bowl champs. Like you just said, good O-line. I love Dak, not just because of his talent, but his head is on right over his shoulders. He knows what to say. He knows how to lead. And when you have a young, kind of irresponsible running back in Ezekiel Elliott, you need that leadership. I think losing Des Bryant is a plus. I think that locker room is almost more mature now, even though you have younger players. This is the most underrated Dallas team, almost less talked about Dallas team we've seen in a while. So I think they have a good year, like a 9-7, 9. Around there. They're second place.
Yep.
I have the Giants behind them. My Giants, I think they have a better year, obviously, than last year. That was a disappointing year last year.
Oh, absolutely. The surprise of the year, I think, and that's what I have Jacksonville doing.
Yeah, and
on the Giants.
Okay, Odell, obviously, like you just said earlier, top 3 wide receiver in the league.
Yes.
Saquon Barkley is going to have a dynamic season.
Rookie of the year.
Yeah, but Eli is a question for me. He really is. I just think we should have drafted Sam Darnold. There's no secret there and moved on. But I think they have a strong enough team to finish third, and obviously that leaves us with the Redskins last.
I agree with Washington being fourth. I don't know who 1, 2, and 3. I don't know the order. I have Philly second or third. Probably just to play it safe, I think I got Dallas 1, Philly 2, Giants 3, Washington 4. But I'm telling you, I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants find out a way, go 12-4. Philly goes
I would love that.
10-6, and Dallas goes 9-7, something like that. Washington goes 4-12 this year. They're a bad record team in the NFC. Hey,
Okay,
one more.
NFC West: Rams, 49ers, Seahawks, Cardinals. We should have the same team winning this division.
You want to do it on 3?
Are you really going to do it?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Rams. Okay, there we go. We have the Rams. They have the best roster in this division, hands down.
By far.
Hands down.
2 through 52, their roster is just stacked, so it's all on Jared Goff, and he had a really good year last year. So you just got to think the momentum will keep on continuing. Easy division winner.
What kind of coach does he have? And who is the coach?
Offensive-minded coach, good young quarterback, equals
Wins.
Okay.
There we go. Number 2, Jimmy G, the guy who dates the porn star. I got him number 2.
Jeez. He throws a football as well, Max. He throws it.
Oh, I thought porn star was more important.
Okay. Makes sense. Okay, San Fran 2, I agree with that.
Yeah, I think, like all seriousness, I understand it wasn't the best look, but at the end of the day, he produces on the field.
I thought she looked really good.
If you want to go that route, it's a win-win either way, off the field, on the field, he's doing good.
Yep.
He's living life to this fullest.
Jimmy G.
He's a role model, ladies and gentlemen.
Well,
Okay, number 3.
Jimmy can hit the G spot.
Oh, man. I don't think we're recovering from this one. Give us a minute, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, man. Okay, at number 3, Seattle Seahawks I have. Obviously, they had a lot of drama in this offseason. Their O-line is not good. They lost their wide receivers, but at the end of the day, you have Russell Wilson, one of the top 5 best quarterbacks in the league, mobile, head on right, can throw. He's accurate. I think he leads them to the 3rd place in this division.
Totally agree.
Lastly, that leaves us the Cardinals.
They have Josh Rosen.
I think he'll be a great quarterback.
2-3 years away, though.
Yeah.
Their O-line's horrible. Fitzgerald is a great receiver, but he's a veteran. I just think they're just a tad older than, they're 2-3 years away, and if Rosen does pop, they'll be great. If not, then start it over.
Man. Dave.
You're still thinking about it.
We shouldn't even have mentioned Jimmy Garoppolo. We'll just skip him next time.
I got that joke all year long. That's it. Every time we talk about him.
Okay, so that was our NFC breakdown. Who do you have winning the North?
Packers.
Okay, who do you have winning the South?
Saints.
Okay, and who do you have winning the West?
Rams.
And who do you have winning the East?
Cowboys.
There we go. It was a great episode, Dave.
And my two playoff teams would probably be Vikings and I kind of want to say the Falcons, but do the Eagles not make the playoffs? So I got to really think on that. Maybe Falcons and Eagles and not the Vikings? I don't know. NFC is packed.
It really is.
It's packed.
But I can't give you all my dark horses and predictions
Yeah,
yet. I'm
we'll
saving
go
that
all
for
in.
our next episode, our NFL breakdown. But, yeah, what a great episode of
Get-
NFC.
Yeah, get locked in real quick, Cuzzo.
All right, we're getting locked in.
And let me just go with it, and I kind of talked about it, so I really am. I'm going to lock this in. Philadelphia does not win the NFC East. That's my locked in.
That's tough.
Yeah, I'm
That's
going
tough.
for it.
That's a
I'm
bold,
bold.
take. I hope you know that's a bold take.
I'm big, I'm bold, I'm strong.
What did you take before we got on this podcast?
A 5-hour energy.
Or a Dunkin' Donuts fan delivered?
Not yet.
Okay.
I haven't got
All right.
mine.
My locked-in's kind of along the lines of the AFC one. I said Deshaun Watson is the quarterback of the future. I think this year, it's like you have Big Ben aging. Tom Brady obviously is aging. Drew Brees is aging. You see that new tier, new generation of quarterbacks. I think Wentz has a terrific season off an injury. And I just think he leads them to win the division. And it's kind of that this year is the young quarterback's year.
I love when you and I go the polar opposite with our locked-ins.
Yeah,
I like it.
I think Wentz is the quarterback of the future as well as Deshaun Watson. That's my locked-in. They think they both have great years this year.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. Download on all podcast platforms and pay it forward. Pay it forward. Tell a friend. Tell a family member.
Subscribe. 5 stars. Dunkin' Donuts. Buy a shirt. Thank you to our sponsors, Pep-Boys, Fit Meals, Wicked Cutz. And like always,
Stay
locked
in.
That's the only other thing. So there we go. All of our sponsors, thank you guys so much for sponsoring. Make sure you guys check them out. MyFitMeals.com. Wicked Cutz, 2 locations, Port Orange and Daytona. Pep-Boys off International. And we're good.
Cool. Sounds good, guys. And like always,
Stay locked in.
Yeah, you now locked in with the best. We ain't rocking with the rest. And when it's game time, we gon' put you to the test. Come the ball, we hitting it, kicking it, or we dribbling, passing it, or we running, or it's the ring that we flip you in. So what's the news? You want the scoop? You gotta keep it locked. Today's the Max podcast through your speaker box. What's poppin', my friend? You know the drop in. And the only thing left to do is keep it locked in.